une bonne convention ou un quick collective agreement.
Lucha cuando é?
Iyo, it's pipitak nuti, nusuna, ati hakuyat.
Wow.
Hey, tapsin chakunan, kapa, tasuna no chakwas. Ankun nuti, what I just pias getting nan sunao. Bisa to, tas, pai kupunan, itai, pipitak nisipuni, ukani unoa.
Iwi mi ma, the na emergency services ask.
Nee, als je de 1000 dus kwasties kent geïzet. En wat dat dan je zie het. Als het dan.
Go. So they're still covered there.
What the last augmentation was when?
It was 2020 it was the 1st of April 2022. So public sector employees have not had a pay raise or pay increase.
So 1 year and a half, no raise?
Yes, no pay raise since the 1st of April 2022.
But inflation is going up, eh?
Inflation is in the roof. It's hit the roof. They say for 2022 it was closer to 6.5%. 2023 it'll be more 4.5%. So it's intolerable.
Normally, how often are you supposed to get a raise?
Every year.
Every year,
to try and follow, as we say, the normal cost of living, so that people don't. But public sector employees already have a certain, they're already trailing behind comparable employers in the private sector of 250 and more.
Yeah,
employees.
the private sector will pay better,
Exactly.
and
they have at least a 5 to 10% total remuneration. They're lagging behind. So all these elements, put together, it's impossible for them to. They're getting poorer by working, and it's not. Nobody. By maintaining salaries so low, nobody wants to come and work in the public sector anymore, and we're missing thousands of people. The préposés aux bénéficiaires, nurses, custodial, housekeeping. So. How are we going to be competitive with the private sector? We need to have some good pay raises.
So I know that down south, if you don't get a raise 1 year, it's not so bad because you have lots of facilities, you have lots of options for rent and everything like that. What is it like? How does it impact communities that are further north, that are more remote, where it's harder to get workers?
It's even worse. I mean, everything is like multiplied. Because unfortunately here, well, you guys are, you have less options. The cost of living, when the cost of living goes up in urban centers, the impact is always it's
exponential.
It's exponential here in the north, and especially here, I would say locally in Shefferville and Kawa. Unfortunately, people here don't have certain premiums that other people in the in the north have. Sorry, I don't have the English words, but prime d'éloignement et disparité régionale. Northern allowance. So, and we're working to obtain that. That's part of our demands this time, also for people here in Kawa and Shefferville.
So you don't even have northern allowance, no?
They do not have that northern.
Wow.
They have certain premiums, but they don't have the same ones as in Kujuak up in the north. So we want that to be. We want more equity.
So the plan is to protest to gain some support and some knowledge for what it is you're fighting for. How long are you going to protest?
Well, we've already had 1 day of strike on the 6th of November. Now there's a second sequence of 3 days that's planned because people here are we're part of the Front Commun, right?
Okay.
So
What's
there are
that?
different union organizations. It's a common front of 420,000 employees from the public sector.
Wow.
That have united to negotiate. We have a platform we've harmonized certain of our demands, especially salary-wise. So. Le Front Commun, the sequence now is another 3 days, today, tomorrow, and the 23rd.
So I know that the teachers at JSMS, they're also going on strike. Is that part of this as well?
Well, if they're affiliated to the CSQ, yes, they're part of the Common Front. But in certain urban centers, certain union organizations are not part of the front, but they're also gonna strike. For example, La FIC, that have a lot of the nurses, 80,000 nurses are with La FIC. They're not part of the, but they will be striking on Thursday and Friday. And in certain urban centers, there's La Fédération Autonome de l'Enseignement, which is another union organization that is not part of the front, that represents about 65,000 teachers, mostly concentrated in Laval, Montreal, and Quebec. But they will be going on full general strike as of Thursday.
Okay.
It's not going to be like for public sector employees, especially health and social services. We always have to ensure that the public's safety and health is not put in danger. So we always have to give essential services.
Right.
So for example, people that work in l'urgence, in
Emergency room.
emergency and in les soins critiques, critical care.
Critical care.
Those people do not go on strike. 100% of operations just as normal. But then it can vary the percentage of strike, but we do have to always make sure that the public safety and health of the public is ensured.
You have to balance it.
Exactly. So we have not planned. We do have a mandate to go on general unlimited strike with, of course, the essential services, but we do not know when that will. We're hoping now. There's a mediator that was named yesterday, so they're negotiating today, tomorrow, and Thursday. There are 3 intensive days that have been planned. We're keeping our fingers crossed that will probably give us, some advancements on the negotiation front. If there aren't any advancements in December, there might be a general unlimited strike for Le Front Commun, the 420,000 people of Le Front Commun.
Okay. So critical care services, emergency services, that's still happening at the CLSC.
100%.
What kind of services are not offered during the strike?
Well, for example, everything is gonna come to certain services almost come to a call because they can 60% of strike time, for example. IT are one of the most. They're a critical sector, but they can go on strike maybe because this was all determined by le Tribunal Administratif du Travail, le TAT. So, for example, people in IT, just like our comrade Jimmy, he has to strike 60% of his time.
Okay.
And that is going to affect all the other operations. So, unfortunately, everything can unfortunately fall behind. There might be some certain medical exams that will have to be rescheduled. There will have to be, if people had certain follow-ups with their doctors, there might even be some surgeries that are not critical and not urgent that will probably be rescheduled as well. So it impacts everybody. Schools are completely closed.
Yeah.
So that is our, but this is, of course, we're the union employees are not doing this,
yeah, it's important.
Yeah, it's important, but they're doing this. I mean, with their hearts in their throats. They're not doing this happy-go-lucky style. I mean, it's not something that we want to do. But the last offer that the government offered us, 10.3% for 5 years, with the inflation, mortgages, interest fees, cost of living. It's
not enough.
Insulting.
Yeah.
And there are other demands that are made upon on certain des droits acquis, certain things that we already have.
Special permissions.
Yeah, for example, an example, for the retirement plan, because public sector employees are part of what we call the REGOP, le régime de retraite des employés du gouvernement et des organismes publics, REGOP. And what the government is asking, they're still asking this they're still asking certain concessions. They've gone, they've let certain things go, but they were attacking the REGOP. Now they still want. There is a public pension plan for every Quebecer, which is called the QPP, the Quebec Pension Plan, La Régie des Rentes du Québec, which normally offers people about 33% of their normal income when they do go on retirement. But QPP RRQ was enhanced in 2019. There was a slight bonification of what people will be receiving. And the government is the only employer, even private sector employers have not done this, because the QPP was slightly enhanced. They want what they've given to every Quebec citizen with the right hand, they want to take away with the left hand. So they want concessions equivalent to what they gave in the QPP, that they want concessions from the REGOP for the same amount. But it doesn't make any sense, because that's the objective of the enhancements was to, you know, a better quality of life when we get to our retirement. So what they're offering to every Quebec citizen, universally, without asking for any concessions, they're asking for people from the public sector to concede that same amount of the bonus that was given.
I see you already have coffee, donuts. How can the Naskapi people support you all?
That's a very good question.
Cha.
Well, first of all, to understand.
Uh-huh.
And right now, the pressure comes from the employees,
Go.
not really for the public. You know,
Go.
I don't know if they have other means for the public to support strikers.
Go. Just come in.
Thank you, buddy.
Go.